First off, we gotta give Shift Up a shout out. Shift Up, they're mobile game developers, guys. Like, they've done a really great job. This is their first AAA title as well, so Shift Up, big you guys up. Now, I don't hate the game. There's just one tiny thing within this game that has put me off from all of the other aspects that I find positive and good about the game. Let's cover the core stuff. Let's talk on the core stuff, and then I will reveal at the end why I feel this game I've struggled to connect with, given I've played it for about 30 plus hours. Okay, let's talk about how well graphically the game is designed. Like Shift Up, you can see they've taken the time, they've crafted the right team to really give us something that's visually rich. And again, for them to be a mobile game developer and really lean in to the graphical aspect and deliver something that looks visually stunning, they killed it. Stellar Blade is very reminiscent of Death Stranding, Metal Gear Solid. It feels like Hideo Kojima's had an involvement in design. I know the game was in development for about 5 years, and what we're seeing is something that I haven't seen in a long while, and that's like a super highly polished game. And graphically, there's no flaws in this game. This game is beautiful. The main protagonist, Eve, looks stunning. Her and her crew look stunning. The landscapes look amazing. The Naytibas, the villain designs, like the Alpha Naytibas and Naytibas, like the monsters in general look amazing. The design and depth on these characters look crazy. You can see they've taken their time to design these characters and really add a level of detail you don't really see these days in games. Now, the gameplay is very simple, very intuitive. The UI on screen, the HUD, the heads-up display, very intuitive. The parry system as well, easy, smooth. The battle system is simple, but there's combinations, there's combos that you'd have to string together to beat certain enemies or use certain tools and weapons to break certain Naytiba's defenses. I found the mechanics to be fluid overall. I did have a few gripes on how to change weapon ammunition or execute certain blitz moves or blast moves, but that comes with time. It's hard to kind of execute those things when you're in the heat of battle, but overall I found it to be like a pretty smooth experience. The parrying and the on-screen cues help massively, and it gets you into the swing of things. One thing I liked, which they've done, is you'll learn a new move and they'll have you do that move for the next 5-10 minutes. So like, okay, we can jump on this ledge, and then it'll make you jump a few ledges while you're traversing the level or the map to get used to using that feature and that function. So I thought that was pretty cool. So overall, the mechanics of the game, it ran really smooth, and the gameplay, the boss battles as well, amazing. Like I like games where you have to get good. I feel like games these days, they cater to making things easy, or there's always an alternative path, or there's cheats or things to help you overcome that issue quickly. This game doesn't do that. This game, you have to get good. You have to put the hours in to try and figure out how to beat a boss or beat a certain Naytiba. And I feel that's becoming a lost art these days. So it's really good that they're restoring that feeling in having to put hours and hours in to beat certain bosses. The OST, yeah. Whoever was behind composing the OST needs a raise. They need an increased retirement package, and they need all the applause and rewards possible, because they killed it with the music. Like, the music on this game is the centerpiece of the game. It creates emotions and it invokes feelings that I haven't felt in a long time. Again, I hate to go back and harken back to like Metal Gear Solid, but this is the closest thing emotionally that I can think of when it comes to music and gameplay tied together and become one. Like, seriously, this is the lead vocalist as well, whoever she is, she nailed it. Like, whatever she's doing, she needs to keep doing for the rest of her life, because when you're in certain boss battles, when you're crossing certain parts of the land, when you're in certain parts of the map, and the type of music that they bring in and the levels, it could be at a low level, it could be like at a heightened high loud level. They're constantly taking you on like an emotional roller coaster, and that in itself I thought was wicked. Like, that whatever they're doing, they need to keep doing, because they executed the music perfectly. If I were to be nitpicky, I would say I don't always need music at every part of the level or battle that I'm in. Sometimes a little bit of silence would help. I guess I could turn the music down or turn the music off, but you're going to limit yourself on the emotional experience of the game if you turn the music off. So I would recommend leaving it on. So we briefly touched on the UI, the HUD. So now the in-game gameplay HUD is perfectly fine to me. It's intuitive. In time, you start to pick up on how to use things. Now, my gripe was with the start menu UI. That can be a little bit disjointed in my opinion. There was times where I was searching around for things and I was kind of lost, or it didn't flow. It wasn't intuitive. What would I change about this? I would make things a little bit more simpler. I would kind of dilute down the amount of text and information on screen. Things like changing suits can be a little bit tricky. I found the character breakdown sections where they give you a detailed breakdown on characters there's a little bit of a waffle in there. I also found upgrading weapons to be in a completely different area, and that's where you have to go to your rest point to upgrade, and I felt that as a little bit disjointed, because you would allow us to change our suits in the start menu, but then to do our weapons and upgrades we have to go to a rest point, which I found was just a tiny gripe of mine. But overall it's no biggie. If you take the time to sit there and read and digest the information, it's fine. But I'm just thinking as a general consumer and other general consumers out there, they want to pick up games that are intuitive and where menus flow and there's not too much reading or information to ingest. I think they could have simplified the UI aspect a little bit more. So it's a graphically beautiful game. The mechanics are amazing. The OST goes hard. The UI is livable. So what is the reason why I've got an issue with this game? Why am I not connecting with this game? And it comes down to one vital part, and that is the story. So the storyline, again, it's another aspect of this game that is massively disjointed. So we've got the protagonist, we've got the main character, and we don't really have necessarily a main villain, an antagonist. We see aliens kill Eve's comrades, and there's a tiny bit of a motive there, but I found there was a lot of walking around, a lot of meeting people, and not really there being explanations of who these people are or what they can do for us. And I just kind of felt a lot of drifting. Like I'm drifting around right now. I'm doing missions, I'm going here, I'm going there. Even her supporting characters, they're not really saying much, and I'm really lost on what their purpose is and how they kind of tie into things. It's a little bit all over the place in my opinion, and for that very fact it's making me lose interest. And the only analogy that I can give is like if you were to go to the movies and you watch a film, if you don't understand what the movie's about, you slowly start to not enjoy that movie and you'd maybe want to leave the cinemas early. And this is the feeling that I'm getting with Stellar Blade. Like everything about it is amazing, but I'm just not getting the story, and the story is not emotionally gripping enough for me to be sold on it and emotionally invested. So that's it's a small negative, but in the grand scheme of things, it's enough to topple everything that I've mentioned in regards to this game, which is a shame because Shift Up, they've done an amazing job. Like I said, they've spent the last 5 years developing this game, and it's a shame that the story just doesn't hit. The story, it just lacks emotion, it lacks main character motivation, and this is why I just can't connect with the game. So what would I do to improve the game? What do you think they could do to improve the game? So if I were to have a direct channel with Shift Up, I would have done things along the lines of flatten the story, simplify things, have a main villain or thing that we can work towards. I know Eve has the Alpha Nativas, but I feel like we need a talking villain. We need a clear person that is either foreshadowed in the story or that we see so we know who we're going for. And I feel Stellar Blade doesn't have this, and this is why it feels like we're just aimlessly wandering. So I feel like they need to flatten the story. Also, I would like to simplify the UI. I think the UI could definitely do with some simplification work, but I think overall those are kind of my two main gripes. If I were to rate the game out of 10, I'd maybe give it a 6.5, maybe 7 if I were to push it. I'm looking forward to kind of the DLCs that are going to be on the way, like the photo mode and additional costumes. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what they do and if they expound on any additional DLCs. It's a great game, but emotionally, I'm not interested or invested in the game. This has been my review of Stellar Blade. Appreciate you guys pulling up as always. You can find more videos here on screen. Likes and comments go a long way. Have any of you played Stellar Blade out there? What do you think of it? Or am I the only one that's crazy and doesn't like the game? Let me know in the comments below. I'm out. Peace.